Hi, I'm John Quigley, President and CEO of the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce and Industry. In these challenging economic times, it's imperative that our residents and businesses band together to not only shop Elmhurst, but buy Elmhurst whenever possible. We have great stores in our city center, Spring Road, Butterfield Road, York and Villette Streets, St. Charles and Route 83, North Avenue and Lake Street, along North York and even Grand Avenue. I ask for your help. Let's keep our tax dollars in Elmhurst. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Quigley, President and CEO of the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and I'd like to welcome you to our 93rd Annual Awards Gala and Civic Hall of Fame induction. I've been doing these now for a number of years. This is actually close to my 20th year of attending these kinds of annual award banquets for the Chamber of Commerce. I consider that a pretty good tenure, and I've been doing it as the President and CEO since November of 1999. And I thank you all for coming out this evening. We've got a great program on to hand, and we're about to serve you a fantastic dinner. But before that, we have two items to take care of, our Pledge of Allegiance and our invocation. First, for our pledge, I would like to call up a member of our Board of Directors, Julie Miller from Patrick T. Sheehan and Associates, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would all rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Go ahead and give Julie a nice round of applause. She's our second vice chairman, chairs the membership committee, and she's also good with the pledge because the JCs, as she's long been a member of, JCs are very fervent Pledge of Allegiance people. Our next is to do the invocation, and I bring another member of our executive committee up, our first vice chairman and chair of the marketing committee. Would you welcome from Larry Roche Chrysler Jeep Dodge, Paul Cook. Paul? Thank you.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, help us to remember that we are here to serve, not to be served. Remind us daily of the many who need to be helped. Guide us to be there for others and assist them in times of need. And now bless this food to our use and us to your service. Amen.
Once again, I'm John Quigley, President and CEO of the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I'd like to thank you for attending our 93rd Annual Awards Gala and our Civic Hall of Fame induction. Before we get into all the award presentations, we're lucky enough to have a special guest visiting us this evening, and I'm going to give him a minute or two to say hello and welcome. And give it on behalf of the City of Elmhurst. Would you welcome our Mayor, Peter DeCiani. Pete?
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Welcome, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. We've got some great awardees tonight, and I just wanted to say we can't say enough for the people that are being awarded. Charity Algram, our former city treasurer from the City of Elmhurst, is going to get a great award tonight. Charity, done a great leader, a very, very devout volunteer for the City of Elmhurst, and we appreciate all you have done. Ralph Paccianio, a guy that chairs our Veterans Commission, handles all the parades for the City of Elmhurst. He's always there. He's probably one of the most consummate volunteers for our city, so we appreciate you as well, too. Rich Grodsky, Executive Director of Elmhurst Park District, has been a leader for many, many years. He has worked so well with the City of Elmhurst. Rich, we appreciate all you've done and wish you the very, very, very best. And lastly, Elmhurst Memorial Hospital, our proud gem and jewel on the south side of Elmhurst, nearly $500 million in medical technology, state-of-the-art. Peter Daniels is now the new leader, and we can't say enough about you as well, too. So it's a great evening. We've got great people being honored. I think it's just great. Also, we have a great person in the room, too, here. Our new legislator that's going to be representing Elmhurst, our state representative, Patty Bellock. And Patty has been a dear friend. Back in 2008, when we wrote the autism bill, she helped carry that through, and it was not an easy bill. I think we went through 5 or 6 renditions, and Patty was just a great fighter for us, and she'll do a great job as our new representative. So God bless everybody, and let's enjoy tonight. Oh, Bob, I also want to acknowledge our mayor, our previous mayor, Mayor Marcucci, who is here as well. Done a great job. My predecessor, 16 years at the helm, and did a great job, led this community through a lot of challenges, and has been a mentor to me, and I appreciate your help, Tom. Also, former Speaker of the House, Lee Daniels. And Lee, another devout advocate for people, did a great job in the House representing us as well, too. So thank you, Lee. God bless everybody.
Thank you, Pete. Now that the awards program's over, can I get a motion to adjourn? Thank you. But we thank you, Pete, and we thank you for your support of our business community on a regular basis. He himself is a small business owner and understands completely what businesses go through on a regular basis, and we appreciate his support. Now we get to actually, the names are out there, but now the awards get to go out there. First, I would like to call up our outgoing chairman of the board to give his remarks, and then he'll help us do the award presentations. Would you welcome Kevin O'Keefe? Kevin? Oh, no, he's got a script.
Hi, how you doing? I'd first like to announce, starting next week, I'm going to be officially the member advocate for the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce. I'll be out calling and getting new memberships for the chamber. So many of you who are members, I'll be calling on for next month or two to see if you can let me know, give me a few leads, let me know if a few people you know. Some of you want to drop an email to or phone call. I'll be hoping that you guys can help me. You guys are the people who are most active. Many of you are people most active, so I will be looking for you some kind of guidance. I'm looking forward to working with John about that. Being the chairman of the board of Chamber of Commerce is kind of humbling. It was a very rewarding experience. I learned how to be a leader, and I think that's part of the whole puzzle. The board worked together and made some very good and some very tough decisions. There were some very tough decisions this year. As you know, organizations are having a hard time raising money, so it was a tough year, but the board really worked well together. We talked on various agenda items. We came through with good decisions, good discussion, and it was really nice working with a great group of people. I'd like to thank a couple people particularly, though, if I can. Sorry about that. First person I'd like to point out is the past chairman, Scott Levin. Scott is an attorney, and it was nice to have somebody who I can have counsel with who is a counsel. He he had almost a secretarian type of work ethic work with me. He would I'd call up Scott, I got a question, and he somehow questioned me down so I'd be able to figure out the answer. So it was really, and I want to thank you very much, Scott. It was really nice having you as a little mentor. Thank you very much. Second, I'd like to thank out is my first vice chairman, Jennifer Speaker. Jennifer, where are you at? Jen's the chairman this year, and I just can't say enough about her. She was awarded with the Chairman's Award last year from Scott, and she's just she's a hard worker, and it was nice to be able to work with her. She's very logical, and that's not me, and that's so I'd call her up, and she'd say, "No, Kevin, stop what you're doing." She as this to be vice chairman or first vice chairman, she also was in charge of the marketing committee, and during this year she made several changes, and one of the changes I particularly like is she made our brown bag, where we do every other month or every 3 months, we would have a brown bag where we'd be more like a lunch and learn, where we'd have somebody from the chamber or somebody come in and teach you, show a few things about their business and just teach you a little bit. Well, what Jen turned it into is a professional speakers series. So whereas before it was not a revenue maker for the chamber, Jen did a great job leading her marketing committee and made it into a revenue generator, and she made a more professional thing so people could come, our speakers could come out and instruct us and teach everybody. They'd invite their clients out, they invite friends out, and anybody else who wasn't invited. So it was very good. And I want to thank you very much, Jen. Thank you. Appreciate it. Third is Charity Algram, and I'm going to give an award later on to Charity. But Charity, it's just nice to have you all around. You're always smiling. You always give me great advice, and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Charity. But next, and definitely not least, I want to thank John Quigley. He's our president and CEO. Quigs is the stick that stirs the coffee. Am I doing well?
Oh, you're doing fine. I don't like the fact they didn't applaud when you said my name. I'll get over that.
Come on.
Thank you for that half-hearted attempt.
John obviously works during the day, and also he goes, go to city council meetings. He goes to business alliance meetings and all the different meetings before and after work. And it's a tireless effort. And sometimes we don't realize on the board. Well, on the board, sometimes towards the end we start realizing how many hours he does put in. But he puts his whole heart into it. And I want to thank you very much because whenever I needed help, it's not just because you're going to be my boss, but really, I really appreciate it very much.
Yeah, now that I'm your boss, I'm done being helpful.
Well, thank you very much, John.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate the laugh.
And just on behalf of the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, I'd like to welcome you and have a good evening. We'll see you in a little bit.
Thank you. Now you get to stay up here.
Okay.
Yeah, you get to stay up here because we have some awards to hand out. Yeah, I actually wasn't quite sure if you said Scott was Socratic or secretariatic. Thanks. At least two people laughed at. Thank you. We do have 2 members of the board of directors who have completed their terms with us. 5 other board members were reelected to their positions, and we're glad to have them back for a second term. We've got plaques right here to present to them. First, she represented Elmhurst Memorial Healthcare for a term on the board of directors, Susan Taberski. Susan, come on up, get your plaque. You can slide that way. Photo op. You got to hang on, the photographer's coming. Keep the box out of the photo.
Hang on. Yes, it is. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And a gentleman, Scott talked about, Kevin talked about, when we first got Scott into the chamber, Barb Savage was responsible in part for getting him into the chamber and then getting him a little more involved in the chamber. And as Kevin said, Scott was a tuning fork by which whenever you were trying to decide which way you go and how you should do it, you just tapped that tuning fork and it gave you the right idea and the right way to go about it. and I really appreciated all his service. No surprise, he got elected to the Elmhurst City Council. Former Board of Director, former past chair, Scott Levin. Scott?
Thank you. Thank you. I have a few words.
Here, have a box. Yeah. They're free. And now we'd like to move on to some of our other awards. We're going to go to Ambassador of the Year. There's information about our Ambassador of the Year in our program. I've known Ralph Pachanio for the 20 years I've been involved in the Chamber of Commerce in one form or another. Originally, Ralph was just completing his year as president. Now it's called chairman of the board with the Chamber when I first got involved after I started working for Elmhurst College. And over the years, it's been my pleasure to work with Ralph on so many different things. But when I first got hired in November of 1999 to be president and CEO of the Elmhurst Chamber, Ralph came into my office, he sat down, he smiled, and he said, "By the way, did anybody mention you're co-chair of the Memorial Day Parade?" And I said, no, exactly what am I supposed to do? And in the 12 years since then, I have done very little, and Ralph has been the guy who does the majority and the bulk of the behind-the-scenes work. And he has, for as long as I've known him, worn a green jacket, and fittingly, he is wearing his green jacket this evening. He still looks better than anybody I know in that green jacket, and it's a hideous jacket. Would you honor our Ambassador of the Year for the second time in his career as an ambassador, Ralph Pachanio? You may.
I'd like to just take a moment to just to say that it's been both a privilege and an honor to represent the Elmhurst Chamber, the community of Elmhurst, and all of our businesses. I take a great deal of pride in wearing the green jacket. John always makes a remark about it, which is okay. I can do that. But anyway, I do. It really is an honor. And if anybody has an opportunity to become an ambassador, I sure would encourage you to do it. It's very rewarding, and you get to meet a lot of great people and help the Chamber and all the businesses do well. Thank you so much.
Oh, they want to get a shot here. You are going to be able to crop him out of that, aren't you? Kevin, come on up. It's your award. It's the chairman's award. So you're the guy who has to do this.
Thank you.
Sure.
If you look in your booklet there, it says what the chairman's award is, but what I try and think, the chairman's award is given each year by the chairman of the board of the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce to an individual who goes above and beyond the call of duty. Someone who stepped up not only when he or she was asked, but also she stepped up or he or she volunteered. When I was starting to prepare for this award, I wanted to go back and see who charity was worked with and so forth. And of course, I thought right away as our former mayor, Tom Marcucci. So I called Tom up and I said, can you help me out a little bit here? I know you helped charity volunteer to become treasurer, and I wondered if you can say, if you can tell me a few words. So Tom and I talked a little bit. He goes, "Mind if I say a few words?" I said, "Oh my God, Quigley and Marcucci up here. I don't know if we have enough time for that." So he asked me if we can give about 20 or 25 minutes. And I said, "No, let's keep it 3 or 4 minutes." So our former mayor, Tom Marcucci, wants to say a few words before we do it.
We got to get our story straight. I thought it was you drafted me to do the speaking. I'm not sure.
You have 2 minutes.
How much time do I have?
2 minutes.
Okay. Kevin did call me at my office several weeks ago, and he asked me if I could help him prepare some remarks for this evening. We started exchanging remembrances, and he said, at one point he finally said, "You seem to have worked with charity quite a while. You might want to come and share some thoughts." And so I'm delighted to be here to have an opportunity. Let me tell you that when I first entered what I call public life, having been born and raised in Elmhurst and went to grade school and high school here, when I went to run for mayor, nobody knew me. I was one of 43,000 people in town, and I didn't know anybody. But one of my first events was a breakfast at the Silverado, where I had to give a little talk to the Spring Road Business Association. So I had been in public life at this point about 3 weeks. And that's how long it took for me to meet Charity. And she welcomed me into that group and got me a seat at the table and made me feel comfortable in a room with a lot of people that I didn't know. So I thought, well, this is a great person. This is somebody I'm going to want to try to get to know. And we've been together and worked together side by side for many, many years. One of the other things I really like about her remaining engaged in public life is that she's one of the few people who can testify, because she was in the room, that yes, the St. Patrick's Day Parade was my idea that morning over the second cup of coffee. Right, Charity? Thank you. A lot of people, when I say I thought of that, they go, no, you didn't. That was, Let me hasten to add, I always add, that the St. Patrick's Day Parade never would have happened without another community-oriented guy, Doug Kuster. Never would have happened without Doug getting involved. And that's the fact. So in any case, so there she was. I met her that day, and I went away, and the campaign developed, and as it worked out, I won the election. And for the next decade, everywhere I went, there was Charity. The mayor, I'm sure Mayor DeCiani, and thank you for the kind words earlier this evening, you get to know the people involved. You get to know the people who are engaged. You go to these events 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week, and the same people, the consistent people, the givers are there all the time. And Charity is a charter member of the Giver Association. So it was no surprise to me when in 2005, as the mayor, I was looking for around the community someone who was A, able to win an election, but B, more importantly, competent and qualified to serve as our treasurer. Charity stepped up, and she came to me and said, I'm willing to help you out. I'm here to do whatever I can to help you move the city forward and make Elmhurst the great place it is. So that's the part that we wanted to share. As Kevin and I were talking, this is a chamber award, but it has a greater community aspect to it as well. And I'm here to testify this evening that there is literally no one in our community who outshines Charity in terms of consistent giving to the community. It's what I said last year if you were here. The chamber is full of people, the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce is full of people who think beyond themselves, not just about me and mine, but about the greater community. And Charity is winning this award this evening in testimony to her great work over a 20-plus year career of giving to the city of Elmhurst. So on behalf of myself, the mayor is here to speak for everyone in the city of Elmhurst anymore. I can't do it. I don't have license to do it. But I will tell you from my perspective, I have the mayor's permission. On behalf of all the 43,718 residents of the city of Elmhurst, thank you very much for all you do to help make Elmhurst the great community it is. Thank you. Thanks.
I don't know how you do that. You talk so well. You're so great at that. When I was growing up, when we talked to people, we always knew them by their first and last name, And when I was trying to think of something to say, I know that the music industry has Madonna, TV has Oprah, and of course, Elmhurst, we have Charity. My wife, Kathy, and myself met Charity first when we were on a committee to help run the first Relay for Life about 10 years ago. It's a fundraiser for American Cancer Society. They were trying to find someone who help run the food area and get donations for the food, which eventually Jack Island and Silverado did. Of course, Charity stepped up. Later, at the Elmhurst Memorial Hospital Foundation was looking for a trustee. Charity stepped up. The people of Elmhurst Parks, PEP, were looking for board members. Charity stepped up. The Spring Road Business Association needed help to start up what would be the annual St. Patrick's Day Parade. Charity stepped up. Charity has also volunteered to be a partner in the Silverado Junior Project, as well as work with the Andy Ryan Fun Run, the Breadbasket Classic, and the 4 on the 4th Run. Once again, Charity stepped up. So it's not only the chamber, Charity, as the mayor said, Charity's done something for the whole city. When the chamber needs help with an event, whether it be our annual steak fry, or when we have Elm Fest, or any of our other events, we always knew that Charity would help out. Over the years, Charity has been a director and has served on the executive board as a treasurer. During my year as chairman, there was a vacancy on the executive board for the Ways and Means Committee. I asked Charity if she would chair the committee. Once again, Charity stepped up. I have a letter here from the Elmhurst Memorial Hospital Foundation I'd like to read to you, just real quickly here. It's addressed to John Quigley. On behalf of the Elmhurst Memorial Hospital Foundation Board of Trustees, I want to commend the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce and Industry for honoring Charity Algram with this year's Chairman's Award. Elmhurst Memorial Hospital, as well, has benefited greatly from Charity's diligent service. Charity has served as a trustee on the Foundation Board for more than 2 years and has taken on an important leadership role as chair of the annual Community Fund. We are fortunate and honored to have Charity serve as an ambassador for our organization as well. Elmhurst Memorial Hospital is delighted that we will be with you on January 25th for the 93rd Annual Awards Gala to help celebrate this important and well-deserved recognition bestowed to Charity. Sincerely, Kenneth Wagner. So that's from the hospital, so congratulations. So at this time, I'd like to award the 2012 Chairman's Award to Charity Algrim.
Say a few words.
I don't have a script. I have nothing
I got some
prepared.
left over there if you want it.
To quote Paul Cook, we need to serve rather than be served. Paul, I can't see you at the moment. Correct? We need to serve rather than be served. I'm really nothing. I'm nobody. If my parents were well enough, they would be here tonight. I learned from them, you have to give, you have to contribute. You are in big trouble with me, Mr. Marcucci. You got me involved in a lot of this stuff, so thank you very much. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here. My boss, Rich Reichert, Bill Gooch Community Bank, they set the bar very, very high in what they expect for us to give back to the community. It's just something that Community Bank does. Thank you for helping me. My in-laws, Art and Arlene. When you mentioned that I only had one name, Charity, I distinctly remember my father-in-law wanting me to sign off on some disclaimer when I said, yes, I'll change my name to Algrim. Do you remember that, Dad? He was a little bit worried, but I think we're okay now. I think they're all, and look, they're here. Who would have their mother and father-in-law come out to dinner with them like this? So thank you very much. And my husband, Scott, I think my boss, Rich Reichert, usually refers to him as Saint Scott. If it were not for Scott, I couldn't do anything, so I love you, sweetie. Thank you very much. So we live in the best town. Oh, my God, the hospital. Peter, how many times have I spent nights up there with my folks? You should be charging me rent, right, Daryl? I should be renting a room for, what you do for my folks. And the Park District, Rich Gradsky, you are the one that got me to be on the PEP board. So, and Frank, where's Frank Muschow? Him too. I mean, how could we not give back to such a fabulous, wonderful, wonderful place to be? We all have so much to be thankful for. So I am thanking you. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you.
Take that with you.
The box.
And now, Kevin, where are you going? You're still up here. And now it's time for us to award our A.J. Tachi-Taronis Business of the Year Award. For those of you who may not remember or even know A.J. Tachi-Taronis, he was my predecessor who led the chamber for a decade, from 1989 to 1999. He passed away while still serving in this position. And he moved the chamber out of the 80s and created the chamber that we were able to take and move into the 2000s and make it even better and stronger and more influential in our community and have a higher presence and exposure. So it's befitting that this award is named after him, and we've had some great recipients on that list. If you look in your program, it is a who's who of the business community. And this is an organization that's winning this year that could have won in any of the previous years. However, we thought it was fairly fitting that they get the honor as we looked out on a project that said, come last summer, there would be a brand new hospital complex at the south side of Elmhurst $450 million state-of-the-art facility, the best care possible, and just cementing their presence in this community. And I know what I'm talking about when I talk about Elmhurst Memorial Hospital and Elmhurst Memorial Healthcare. I spent most of my youth in the emergency room, getting stitches, getting ices, getting x-rays. I went to the old hospital location for the immediate care treatment just the other day, ended up getting diagnosed with bronchitis, saw a doctor right away, and was in and out of there in probably 30 minutes with my prescription. It worked beautifully. It's how great health care is supposed to happen. And it happens on a daily basis. And communities that don't have a major health care provider within their boundaries understand more than sometimes we do how great it is to have that right out your back door and to have it there, to have the best physicians, the best equipment, the best facilities. We've got 3 tables of people here who contribute to that in many forms and fashion. It is a great organization, and they are very deserving of the A.J. Tachi Taronis Business of the Year. To help us present the trophy, Kevin, you want to go over and grab that trophy? I'm going to call up Lorna Helglund from OEC Business Interiors, our recipient of the trophy from last year. They got to keep this trophy on display at their facility for the last year, and it's the tradition that the previous year's recipient presents the trophy to the new. They also get a plaque that they get to keep as a permanent plaque. There's also a plaque at the chamber office that we have. But right now, I would like you to welcome, on behalf of Elmhurst Memorial Healthcare, Peter Daniels. Peter, come on up here. We'll let you speak first, and then we'll do the official handing over of the trophy.
Thanks very much. Wow, 93 years? The 93rd Annual Awards Gala. That's pretty significant in and of itself. And so my congratulations, John, to you and all the former presidents and board members here at the Chamber for all of your dedication and all that you do to continue to promote the civic and the commercial progress here in Elmhurst. And it's really a testimony to all of you and the city, the great city that we have, and the partnerships that we've all created from that standpoint. And I can personally testify to the value that a chamber brings to its community, because I've been a board member of a Chamber of Commerce in New Jersey for almost a decade and was its president in 2010. So I know an awful lot about those chambers and the events and all the good things that you do in education and, again, support of the community. I'd also like to take a moment also to congratulate all of tonight's other awardees. Ralph Rich, Charity Olgram, who, as has been mentioned, is a member of the Elmhurst Memorial Hospital Foundation, and congratulations to all of you. And on behalf of everyone at Elmhurst Memorial Healthcare, I want to thank the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce for selecting us as its Business of the Year. It's an honor to receive the recognition, and it's really a nice way to cap off what's been a very exciting and a terrific year for us at the hospital. You know, some of you may have heard of a small project that we completed at the south end of the town this past summer. $500 million is what it was. And after many years of thoughtful planning, 36 months of construction, we opened the new Elmhurst Memorial Hospital this past June. We've been in our new home now for 6 months, and I'm happy to say that we've settled in. As I remind many people, we're still reading some of the instruction manuals, but for the most part, it's been going very, very well, and we're very proud of our new facility. The feedback we've received from our patients has been extremely positive, and we are in support of and have a lot of support throughout the entire community for everything that we've done. It's really been a tremendous experience for us all. And very interestingly enough, on a very personal note, I had the opportunity to be a secret shopper at the hospital 2 weeks ago. And you know, we talk about the facility, we talk about its technologies, its information systems, we talk about our staff, the patient-centered focused care and culture that we deliver at the hospital. But nothing has been more impressive from my standpoint than seeing and experiencing firsthand firsthand the result of more than a year's worth of planning for all of the processes that make the delivery of patient services work so seamlessly and so efficiently. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the community, our local businesses, our elected officials, the board, our benefactors, our volunteers, the hospital and the medical staff, and all of the leadership team for creating a great hospital with a rich history and tradition of delivering excellent results and a superior patient experience. Many of our leaders are here tonight, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of them for a tremendous job that they've all done. Thank you all very, very much for everything that you've done in creating this wonderful healthcare facility that we have. Let's give them a round of applause. You know, in my relatively short period of time here in Elmhurst, it's become apparent to me how fortunately we all are for the backing of a very strong organization such as the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce. They've been a great partner, and they provide terrific opportunities to be actively involved in the community, and that is a true benefit for us all. And the hospital's relationship with the Chamber, likewise, has allowed us to maintain very close ties with the business community and the rest of our community. And so we also look forward to strengthening that relationship with the Chamber and its members as we all work together in partnership and improving the status of our community and all that we do for one another and for each other and making this the best place to live and a terrific community to be in. Thank you all very, very much.
All right, let's move. Oh, heck, we'll do it right here because we got a photographer there. The official handing over of the trophy. And you take that with you. Thanks. We have a box for you. Don't worry. You'll be able to. We hope to see that prominently displayed. Most of our members have found a very nice place to put it, so when guests come to their business, they're able to display it and show it off. I'll be looking forward to my next visit to the emergency room to see it on the table next to the magazines while I wait to see a doctor. So that should be good. It is now my pleasure to introduce the new chairman of the Board of Directors of the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Would you welcome from SMB Advantage Group, Jennifer Speaker. Jennifer.
Those who know me know I'm very brief, so I will keep this short. In 2011, we got through it. Yay. And 2012, the Chamber is working to do more. So what we're going to do is we have a lot more in store for our members this year. We are connecting the community with our Chamber members. We also have a program that's going with Chamber businesses and connecting them with their aldermen, so they're a little bit more connected to the city. We're also focusing on shopping and buying local to our businesses and our homes in order to create a better community. So if anyone has an opinion of things that they want to do more in 2012, please tell me. Or even better, join a committee and help us out. But we didn't get through 2011 without having great leadership. And we had that with our past chairman, Kevin O'Keefe. So I believe I have an award for him.
Yeah, if you want to go right over there, there's the outgoing chairman's gavel. Like he didn't pound it enough during 2011. You get to present that gavel to Kevin. Right there.
Thank you.
That's good. All right.
Are you done?
Done.
Whoa.
Leave it brief.
Short, sweet, simple. No, thank you very much. Yeah, we're done with you now, Kevin. Thank you. The gavel officially says you're gone. Yeah. Yeah, ring it out. Yeah, you start a new job next week. Don't screw it up. Some of the things Jennifer talked about, I just want to hit on. 9, tough year for businesses. 2010, tough year for businesses. 2011, tough year for businesses. And guess what? The Chamber of Commerce and Industry is a business. We don't run it as a not-for-profit organization. We're not out there looking to make huge profits, but we run it as a business organization. We have 600 clients that on an annual basis we need to provide programs, products, services, and events. Otherwise, we lose those clients. And we have worked hard over those last 3 years to maintain that. And 2011 wasn't a particularly easy year, because last year at this podium, I told you how we just said goodbye to my 11-year executive assistant, Barb Savage, and that my 4-year member advocate, Betsy Donofrio, were leaving. And we went the entire year without that member advocate, and now we have one on board starting next week. And at the end of May, we brought on Tessa Zemgulis, who had been a job path intern with us, graduated from Elmhurst College, and she's been serving as the executive assistant ever since then. So we're rebuilding our staff. We'll be back fully staffed as of next week. And oh, by the way, even a real horrible economy, if I remember our end-of-the-year budget correctly, we netted $35,000. That's an amazing number, given what we had to go through. Yeah, give it a nice round of applause. And I can tell you, the beginning of the year budget had no such number in that net column, but we were able to do it. There was some belt tightening, there were some new events, there was some fine-tuning, there was getting out to make sure we kept members in the fold. And we're going to do more of that in 2012. It is now my pleasure to introduce an old colleague of mine and a friend. If you want to blame somebody for seeing me as president and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, you can blame my old boss, Ken Bartels, who got me involved in the Chamber of Commerce 20 years ago, and then at one point walked into my office and said, you know, you ought to go for that chamber job. I think you'd be perfect for it. We've been partners in crime, meaning on the dais, on TV, pretty much anywhere you can go. And he has been my right hand when it comes to the Civic Hall of Fame, which for years we used to do at the opening ceremonies of Elmfest. No longer. We melded it in with our annual meeting and awards gala. We think it's a perfect spot for that. But Ken has continued to be the guy who handles the Civic Hall of Fame. He's been with it since its inception. Would you welcome Ken Bartels? Ken?
Thank you, John, and thank you, each and every one of you, for being here this evening. The Chamber Civic Hall of Fame is the most exclusive club in town, and tonight it is only inducting its 20th member. And the criteria for selection is pretty simple. You did a lot of wonderful things. You did them over time. You served Elmhurst, the Chamber noticed, the Chamber and the city are grateful. That's it. Those are the criteria. And many of you in this room already are members. Many of you someday can be members. In keeping with our tradition, I will read the 19 previous names because it's a who's list of Elmhurst, and some of them are all no longer with us. But what they did is create the city that we have today, the chamber that we have today, the legacy that we enjoy as a community. So the names are Joe Newton, Eleanor King Hookham, Ivan E. Frick, Joseph Wagner, Jean Hazelhorst, Robert Magnuson, Virginia Harmon, Lee Daniels, who is here this evening, A.J. Taronis, William C. Gooch, Jr., Willis Johnson, who is here this evening, Fred Messerschmidt, James Van Ewyck, Jackie Haddad, Thomas O. Myers, Jr., Abner Gannett, Jan Pauli, Robert Schiller, and Thomas D. Marcucci, who is here. Tonight, the Chamber honors a skilled administrator, a community collaborator, a person of outstanding character, and someone who has always sought to stay out of the limelight, drawing significant praise and respect for that position. But tonight, that cannot be the case. The limelight is his. And I would ask that Rich Grotsky join me up here at the podium. Before I present you this plaque, Rich, I'm going to read it for the audience. Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce and Industry Civic Hall of Fame, Rich Grotsky. A talented man, adept at planning, implementing, and imagining as well. Someone who could always see the forest and the trees. Presented at the Chamber of Commerce and Industry 93rd Annual Awards Gala, January 25, 2012. Rich, congratulations.
First of all, thank you all for being here this evening. Hope you've enjoyed all the wonderful things that have gone on with the dinner and the awards before. I'd like to congratulate both Ralph and Charity, as well as the retiring board members. And I think it's appropriate if all of the recipients of this elite club would stand and be applauded, because they, before me, are really the unsung heroes of why Elmhurst is such a wonderful community. Please stand. When John called me about a month or so ago and asked me if I was planning on attending this year's event, I told him that I was not able. I had other plans. My wife, who is in the audience with us this evening, and yes, I do have a wife. For those of you that only think I have a ring on, she will tell you that my other plans are generally, other than meetings at night, park district activities, other boards and such that I serve on, that Rich's other plans are me waking him up from his evening nap in front of the TV to go to bed. So clearly I am pleased to be here. This event is a much better option, and this honor will remain with me forever. In the field of parks and recreation, being a unit of local government, we don't produce what many of you produce in terms of hard goods and soft goods and things along that line. But we do hold in common with those of you in the service industry something that I believe is something that needs to be produced more often in our world today. Although it may be a very overused set of words, it really gets down to quality of life. And that's what the Elmhurst Park District is really all about. And I'm sure many of you would agree, especially as we age, we have a lifetime of different perspective than younger people, and we realize the quality of life is really what it's all about. The Park District conceives programs and services and facility ideas, and many of you in this audience know that we don't do that in a vacuum. We do it by listening to you, our stakeholders. And based on that feedback, we develop life-enriching programs, services, and yes, we do add a little TLC, and then we finally release them to you. And the overwhelming response that we've received from this community is absolutely astounding. In a recent survey, 400 residents were telephoned, 400 responses. 85% of the residents of this community have used one of our facilities or programs in the last year. That's unheard of. Generally speaking, in this particular field, you're talking between 20 and 40%. So to the community, thank you for your support. As the commercial says, the cost, it's priceless. Everyone in this room has or will continue to make personal sacrifices for the love of a job, even if it sometimes seems like an insane thing to do. And believe me, many of the things that we do seem insane to me, but they're fun. And luckily, my family has been there to support me despite my late nights, weekends, and time spent working over the years. But the truth be told, I should have really spent more time with them. And I tell our staff 3 things when they come to work for us. The first thing that you should pay attention to is your family. The second thing that you should pay attention to is it's okay to make mistakes, as long as you can repair them most of the time. And the third thing we tell them is have fun with your job. I thank my family for understanding, especially my wife, Teresa. She was there for our daughter, Allison, and Brian many times when I was not able to be there. And honey, thanks, I love you a bunch. But really, this award really represents the people that I work with, board members and staff. And I'd like to introduce 2 to you this evening, and I think you probably know who they are. But the first one I'd like to introduce, and please give her a good round of applause, is Colette Kabisa, our board president. She has been a support to me, the staff, and this community for years and years, and she is an unsung hero of this community. And the new kid on the block, who's really not a new kid on the block, he's been with the district for 17 years, and fortunately the board in their great decision-making, hired Jim Rogers to take my place beginning March 1st. And Jim, congratulations, you've got a bunch of supporters right here in the audience. As I leave this temporary post, and as I thought about this, we're all in temporary posts. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. John, thank you very much. I appreciate what you've done. And you, the businesses. What you've done to keep this community vibrant really is unparalleled. When you look at the downtown Spring Road area, when you look at the York Street areas, and you look at the vacancy rates of 3 to 4%, that's not common in today's world. And it keeps a nice small town balance for Elmhurst. We all know that without a vibrant business community, the tax base suffers, and that's very bad for the residents. So keep up the great work, because with your great work, you have made Elmhurst a desirable place to live, work, and play. Thank you very much for this honor. I will remember it for always.
You'll be happy to know that preceding most of my trips to the emergency room were trips to Park District facilities. So playing basketball, playing hockey, playing softball, playing baseball, something happened. So I was able to combine the two. It was really good. Usually included a trip to the dentist in there occasionally, too, for getting my teeth knocked out. But thank you again, Rich. Rich served on our board of directors during my early tenure as president and CEO, and I had also served with him when I was a director before taking over. And Rich was one of those voices that would always make sure you understood every side to an issue. So even if Rich was for something completely within a committee setting or a board setting, he would advocate the opposite. Just so that when you were done talking about something, you could say, we heard every side, we saw every vision, we considered every opportunity, and then we moved forward. And then he'd come up to me after the meeting going, I didn't do that on purpose. I'm really for it. I just wanted to make sure. And I'd say, I know, Rich, I appreciate it. Keep doing it. That's what makes you so valuable to our board of directors, and it's what's made him so valuable to the Elmhurst Park District and the Elmhurst community at large. At this time, I would like all of our honorees to stand one more time and get a great round of applause. Come on, stand up, honorees. Peters, stand up. Charity, stand up. Ralph, stand up. Thank you. These are great opportunities Many times the business community is out there doing the things they do. They're working hard to make sure the day-to-day operations are going along, and there's always the next hot button to deal with. So this is the kind of night that we can sit back, look at what transpired over a 12-month period, and understand how fortunate we are to have great people doing great things for great organizations. And I think the Chamber of Commerce and the City of Elmhurst are all the better for it. Thank you and good evening.
Visit Elmhurst.org to explore the new City of Elmhurst website. Find out the latest Elmhurst news, pay utility bills and parking tickets, report concerns, and much more. Elmhurst.org is an ideal way to discover what Elmhurst offers your business, your family, your life.
Hi, I'm John Quigley, President and CEO of the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce and Industry. In these challenging economic times, it's imperative that our residents and businesses band together to not only shop Elmhurst, but buy Elmhurst whenever possible. We have great stores in our city center, Spring Road, Butterfield Road, York and Villette Streets, St. Charles and Route 83, North Avenue and Lake Street, along North York and even Grand Avenue. I ask for your help. Let's keep our tax dollars in Elmhurst.